Yeah, so it's your boy Sense. Welcome to another episode of Car Talk. Um, let's talk about Kyrie Irving. I feel like it's every day now. We're dealing with another issue about black people expressing their identification with the Hebrew nation and being persecuted for it. Now, I want to preface this by saying I have no emotional attachments to this point of view. I have no religious attachments to this point of view. I don't even have any ideological attachments to this point of view. I identify with something completely different, which gives me my own personal sense of empowerment. However, I don't think uh, that anybody else's sense of identification is wrong or should be stripped from them. That being said, let's continue. All right, so what we have here is a situation that I'm finding a hard time understanding, and I believe that, everybody has a purpose in this world, and I feel like everybody was sent here for a reason. You know, my reasons are not to be more divisive. My reasons are not to separate people more. My reasons are to bring people together. So, in what I say today, I'm going to try and be very cautious so as to not that I'm trying to avoid offending anybody, because if it's necessary, then it has to happen. Um, but I want to make sure that the things that I say today are as clear as possible and not miscommunicated. So the issue that I have with what's going on with Kyrie, I'll first of all start off with his mistake. All right? I'm going to start off with the mistake so that anybody who has any type of feelings of, oh, this was just completely wrong, won't be blinded by my secondary opinion. They'll understand that I'm holding a balanced view. All right? First of all, the Holocaust did happen. It was a historical event. Anybody who argues that is a hateful individual and does not look towards bringing people together, but only looks towards replacing a power structure that requires somebody to be a servant, which requires somebody to be lower than them. I feel like it's a very insecure position to hold. Um, Kyrie already clarified that that's not his position, that he was unaware that the documentary contained those positions, most likely because he did not watch the documentary, or I think it's also a book. Read the book. That was his mistake. Sharing something without knowing the full contents of which, or not posting a disclaimer saying that, you know, all of the views and opinions held within this documentary I do not share. However, I do share the opinion that I am a Hebrew, that I am an Israelite, and entitled to the same benefits and blessings as the rest of our Jewish brothers and sisters. That would have removed some of the areas of disclarity that allowed the people who do not want this message to be pushed to focus in on the wrong narrative and villainize him. However, when I watched how he conducted himself in the interview after his suspension, I was very proud of the brother. People were intentionally mistaking his message, uh, contorting it, and putting it out as if he was a hateful person or a person who believed in these hateful messages. clarified within that interview that that was not his position, that it was a mistake for him to, you know, promote something without understanding the full context of it, and then stood on his square about being a Hebrew, about being an Israelite, and identifying with the rest of our Jewish brothers and sisters. However, the media is still taking its opportunity to villainize him based off of that same point which had already been shut down. Which leads me to question, what is this really about? Same thing happened with Kanye. Kanye said some off-the-wall things, made some valid points, apologized for the things that he said that were off the wall, and then maintained the valid points. However, the media is continuing to discount the validity of the points that he made and focusing on the message which he already apologized for. So what is the actual issue? And to me, it's coming down to the fact that whoever is orchestrating these media lynchings is actually not upset by the positions that may have been misrepresented. They're not upset about that. What they are upset about is black people who have the audacity to believe that they are part of a highly esteemed nation that is blessed beyond belief of wealth and prosperity and, freedom, power. Because let's make no mistakes, the word power isn't dirty. It's necessary in order for freedom. Without power, you have no freedom. That makes me question where the real racism is taking place here. Is the racism Kanye saying, I'm going to go DEFCON free on the Jewish community and then apologizing for it? Is the racism Kyrie saying, sharing a documentary which holds some insane points of view, then apologizing for those points of view which he did not know were included? Or is the racism taking place with a media campaign against two brothers who simply want to state that they also identify with a Hebrew Israelite Jewish culture? You gotta wonder. So let's look at some of the points. This documentary, I'm sure, is being hosted on multiple platforms, right? Probably being hosted on YouTube. I know for a fact it's being sold on Amazon, and some other platforms, right? If the issue is really about the message that this documentary is putting forward, why aren't all of these platforms where this documentary is being held and sold and promoted, why are these platforms not being also publicly flogged? Why isn't Jeff Bezos being publicly flogged? It's curious, right? I'm just asking the questions, man. At the end of the day, I want to see everybody. And I mean everybody. I want to see everybody empowered. I don't hate white people. I don't hate Jewish people. I don't hate black people. I don't hate Hispanic people. I want to see everybody empowered. I want to see this world treat each other as one. I want to see everybody treated fairly. I want to see a world where, racism no longer exists. But for that to happen, we need to be able to have honest and open public discourse. We need to be able to talk about it. How do we get to a place of understanding one another when no one is allowed to express their own opinions? How? So here's my suggestion to my Jewish brothers and sisters, and I want to emphasize brothers and sisters. If your point and your goal is to come to a understanding and not simply to tear down anybody who wants to identify with you, if that's your point, to come to an understanding, then this is what we should do. And I want to say we, because we're all human beings. So this is what we should do as human beings who want a better world. Sit down with the most logical and calm, educated representative for the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, and bring your best logical, calm, and educated representative for the current Jewish community, and have a public discourse, a televised debate. Allow the Black Hebrew Israelite to put forward archaeological, scientific, and demonstrable facts of the link between diasporic Africans and the Hebrew community. And then if you find fault with that, argue your counterpoints. And let's get to a solution. These brothers have already apologized for the things that they said that were hurtful, or the things that they did unintentionally or intentionally that were hurtful. They are merely standing on one simple principle. Now, and that principle is that they are Hebrew Israelites as well. That should be the end of it. There shouldn't be any more flogging. There shouldn't be any more miscommunication. There shouldn't be any more shaming. There shouldn't be any more tearing down. There shouldn't be any more there shouldn't be any more embarrassment or attempts to embarrass. If that's what your purpose is. But if your purpose is to simply disenfranchise a group of people from what they believe to be their inherent right, then I hope more black people stand with them. I hope more black people develop the courage to say, I don't agree with this and I don't agree with that, but I agree with their right to identify as such and such. You don't have to agree with everything they say. You don't have to stand beside them on every point. I find Kanye terrifying because his points, the points that he makes that are valid are awesome, amazing, beautiful. But he is also a highly religious man who believes that women have no right to their bodies and that they should not be allowed to engage in abortions. I don't think anybody should be telling a woman what to do with their bodies. You know? I don't think anybody should be involved in that. And, running for a government position, which I don't think is funny. I don't know why I chuckle, because it's like, it's possible he could win, right? Trump won, whatever. But imagine a man like that being the president of your country or the ruler of your country and holding these, I don't want to say extreme points of view, because they're views that are shared by many religious organizations, but they're divisive. Not everybody shares the same opinion based on religious beliefs. And so I believe those points of view and those perspectives should be left out of it. However, in these instances where it has absolutely nothing to do with religion, this is just about, so like I was saying, however, wherever the points that are being made are not being made from a religious perspective, and they're simply trying to make a point based on archaeological and scientific facts, let's have those conversations. Let's have these conversations. Let's not jump down each other's throats. And black people, let's not persecute our own without exception, based on what somebody else wants us to do. It's not right. It's not right. That's it. I ain't got much else to say. It's kind of a long video. But the past couple days have been exceptionally draining for me as an empath. And just watching people give no support to these guys. Zero support. And I'm not saying that you support everything. Once again, you could say, I don't agree with what he said here. I don't agree with what he did here. But he's apologized for those. I stand with him on this point. What's wrong with that? Anyhow, you already know what it is. It's your boy Sense. Family, money, everything. Let's get it.